dun dun da 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 dun dun da 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 dun dun da da.
Wow, when's the last time we did one of these, boys and girls? The delay. You went, why don't you guys get together with Pop and Joker and Bet? We'd love to. We'd love to. Right on time. Right on time. There's already technical difficulties. South Dakota internet. We can't because of the mosquito bites, right? Death by one bullet, death by 1,000 cuts. The Muslims didn't have it right. Guys, it's death by 1,000,000 mosquito bites. And it dawned on me, you don't see it because it's so omnipresent. It's in the background. What's the word I'm looking for? It's so small, but so voluminous, so consistent. You're swimming uphill in molasses, but you don't realize it. I'll give you an example, right? Yesterday, no, not an IT genius, but GitHub, not GitHub. Logitech has a hub. Logitech, I think, got taken over by private equity. And of course, they improve things. Like before, in ye olden days, and by ye olden days, I mean 3 years ago, you plug in your Logitech camera, it just works. Nope, I had to download 2 separate apps, and then there's updates, and it's the G Hub. So it did this update. And what I like to do is I'll leave my computer on with, my StreamYard account open and my email open, but I'll turn off the screen, my physical computer screen that is like 12 years old, and I'll go do some stuff. That way, when I come back, I don't have to turn on the computer, open everything up again. I just turn on the screen again. I turn it off to save electricity. I come back and I don't have to log in. I save time. Well, for whatever reason, after 12 years of having this computer screen, it just, for whatever reason, it defaulted to Spanish. And it says, hi, H-A, hey, something else. I guess it means no screen detected. So whatever it is in Spanish. Like, why did it switch to Spanish now? Why? What happened? And usually if you move the mouse, it would kick back on, but it didn't happen. I'm waiting, I'm pressing buttons. So now I have to physically turn off the computer, physically turn it back on. Then it recognizes the computer. Something happened. You know what happened? Do you know what happened? It was not hardware. It's the same computer. It's the same screen. This combination has been working 3 or 4 years now. I've had this screen forever. The bank in Wyoming repossessed a bunch of shit. And they decided to put it in the IT guy's office. Of course. This shit, including this computer screen, was sitting there for years because we never liquidate our collateral because we're a bunch of sister fucking Wyoming bankers, right? And the IT guy says, I need this shit out of my office. It was junk, fucking junk, but this is worth something. He's like, how much you want? I said, I'll give you $100 for it. I could use an okay computer screen, and here we are. Oh, yeah, Wyoming bankers, if you want your $100 back, come get me. I'll give it to you. It'll be the first time you ever got your money back, you low IQ fucks. Yeah, come on out. I'll give you interest. I'll give you interest. Or should we do the rate of return on what the capital was on the bank? In which case you'd be paying me. So I've had, probably 13 years now. Why is it not working all of a sudden? And then it dawned on me. Between the cars and the dishwashers and the laundry and the dryer, the washer and the dryer. See, analog works because it obeys the laws of physics. If you don't have a connection, you don't have a circuit, it don't work. If you do have a connection, it works. If it corrodes, it don't work, right? Everything in analog world is governed by the laws of physics. But then you short-sighted, small dick, low IQ, MBA, and including IT-laden fucks, you decide to let software do everything. And it's not my theory, but my hypothesis, my fear, my concern, which is probably real, is that you guys are writing so much code. There's so much, there's exponential, almost approaching infinity amount of code that something happened with the Logitech update, and now my computer screen don't recognize it anymore. It's a very minor thing. I got to deal with it. I had to unplug this and plug it back in. It seems to be working now. But it's an increasing number of instances that every day, what the fuck is wrong with my phone? Machines that were analog that worked in the 80s, now we got to become software engineers. Something's wrong with your car, right? You auto manufacturers couldn't shove enough software into your fucking overpriced, over-engineered bricks. You're slowly turning everything into a brick. And instead of us Americans, not to mention the world over, being able to focus on, I don't know, work, production, GDP, heaven forbid we have some fun, we got to spend a little bit here, a little bit there. I got to Google search, why does this machine not work now? Why does this computer not do the thing? Why is I can understand troubleshooting computers, right? That's where the software is. I mean, if you guys could, I guarantee you, if tool manufacturers could, they put a fucking screen on it, have a fucking subscription service to use a fucking hammer, and then like, why does the hammer work? Oh, do you have this wireless router in your home? Oh, that interferes with your digital hammer. I'm not joking. We're coming to that point. Oh, maybe not a digital hammer. But boy, you MBA, you assholes would masturbate to that all day. A subscription service digital hammer. You would. You would. And as you put software in more and more and more things for reasons that don't need to be there, a digital dryer. Give me a fucking break. Oh, you ladies have ruined us. I'm not kidding. Not kidding. Do you know why digital dryers exist? Not kidding. I've heard this come from 3 women now. No guy. I had the 70s green washer dryer combo in my first place. You know what? Never broke. Small, medium, large, on. That was it. Click, click, click. You just click a button. That was it. Girls like the beeping noise. Beep, beep, boop, 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 beep, beep, beep. Fires up. Ah! Let's spend $900 on a dryer that'll work for 3 months. Guys, remember Samsung? Samsung had these dryers and washers. Their appliances didn't fucking work for shit. Boo-ba-doo-boo-ba-doo-boo. Ah! Me once! It doesn't dry the fucking clothes. And then, you know what? The dryer and the motor that tumbles shit or washes shit, right? That's fine. Those might actually work. But you got this software interface that doesn't work or shorts out or was programmed the wrong way when all you had to do was take some fucking Linkalogs, add a fucking battery and a rubber band, and then there you got a washer. And not too long ago, I went in and I had to wash some clothes at a different person's house. And I'm looking, and there it is. Guys, something as simple as this. This is a mosquito bite. Let me show you what I'm talking about. In my day, the on button had a give to it. Like you'd push it and it would click or connect, right? Now the on buttons, you just put your finger over it, like Star Trek. Anything to make you girls happy about that. I don't know if it's on or not. How long do I have to hold my finger there? Oh, now it lights up. Why can't pop on? So I had to hold my finger over it like I was fucking Lieutenant Worf in Star Trek. Boo, 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 boo. Lights go on. The fucking options, man. Look, I'm not kidding. Samsung, GE, Maytag, all of you. I'm not kidding. Look, I know you just can't help yourself. You're going to do this software MBA acronym buzzword current management fad thing because you're a bunch of needle dick 102 IQ MBA laden fucks. Okay. You don't give a fuck about the profitability. But if you'd like to continue playing make believe businessman, business leader, program a bachelor setting, right? Just a big old switch on every fucking thing. Cars, machinery, appliances, everything. Bachelor, bachelorette, or female. Bachelor setting. And then there it is. I small, medium, large, on. That's it. That's all I need. There's so much money to be made right now. And I've thought about this. I've thought about it. If you asswipes in Silicon Valley in New York can get money for companies that don't make money, right? You get money, you get investors give you billions of dollars. What was was WeWork? Did you guys ever make a profit? There's all these different companies that they have these multiple billions of dollars of valuation. They don't even make no money. Well, shit. Put me in command. I'm going to make a thing called, like, the brand name will be Bachelor Quality, right? It'll be the Bachelor, and we're going to go into everything. Cars, the Bachelor car. Guess what? Standard transmission, ignition, physical roll-up windows. Hey, a brand new car for $6,000, and you can fix it yourself because it doesn't have a bunch of over-engineered shit. You know, it doesn't have heated seats. It doesn't have a rear-view camera. It doesn't make me. How do I know? Nope. It's not for you. It's for bachelors. Oh my God. And the standards of living for bachelors went up by 300% because they weren't fucking around. He's like, nah, this doesn't have any Where's the plug-in thing? I need the plug-in thing to diagnose my car. No, you don't. Pop the hood. Look, you'll find out what's wrong. Oh my God, it's the alternator. Look, remove 3 bolts, put a new one in. Boom. The washer and dryers made with quality components, guaranteed last 20 years. We put all of our extra effort into. But there's no boopy beep 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 boop boop boop. You're right. It's a bachelor dryer. It's got 3 settings: short, medium, long, on. I guess the dryer would have a time setting. We might add a spectrum, not 3 discrete settings. You know, an industry we could take over with the Bachelor brand name, video games. This is guaranteed to have hot chicks and good-looking dudes in it and be fun. And there's no woke leftist shit politics. No fat, large, and in charge black women in a wheelchair aspiring Marxist shit. This is just a fun old game we all like. Oh, there's a black woman in it, but she's that sexy fucking proud fro with the tiggle bitty and hell yeah. And there's lots of guns and lots of violence. And we're getting rid of all the trans colors and the pinks and the light blues and the magentas and all. No, we're doing an old school fun fucking game right there. How much? $30. Here's your physical copy that you. Oh, and by the way, we've rigorously tested this and made sure there are no bugs in it. This game works. Here you go, my friend. $35 for you. And I own it. You own it. And here's your console that doesn't require updates because we're not a bunch of fucking idiots. Will this interrupt and interfere with my wireless or my wife's digital dryer? Nope. It's 100% complete contained system. We did this thing called quality control. It's amazing what happens to the economy then. My God, ever since I bought Bachelor brand products, I've had to spend 98% less time fixing and repairing shit or troubleshooting digital shit. Oh, here's your digital spoon. And then the girl's like, you open up the drawer and it's like, boop, 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 digital utensils. It's the latest thing I want. Enter your password to use the spoon. Oh, fuck, what was the password? Software upgrade to use the spoon. You all would if you could, because you don't know any better. It's the classic. You want a Sherman tank or a Tiger tank? You want a P-51 or what was the over-engineered plane that I don't know, it was some overengineer. Like, yeah, like the Messerschmitt 262 is pretty cool. You got to admit that. I don't know who's in charge. And I don't know how long you all need. There are no visionaries, no leaders to look and say, hey, there's a tremendous opportunity if we make some entry level, base, analog, quality products that young and poor people can afford and dramatically increase the standards of living. If we just think about the customer, no, you don't need updates. No, you don't need a separate account. No, we're not going to force people to go to the cloud, Amazon, or not Amazon, Microsoft. Just, we spend all this money not making good products or services. We spend all this money making subscriptions, creating problems. And if you throw software into everything and it's not jiving or working with previous decades old software, there's some kind of hiccups. It's kind of like that, what is it? The gray mass theory. Gray mass would just take over the world if it figured out how to replicate. There's some obscure theory I heard somewhere. But the software theory I got is if we're just going to keep creating more and more software, and it has to operate on the previous trillion, zillions, infinite amount of software that pre-existed, you're just going to have an exponential amount of times that doesn't work, it doesn't jive, and shit shuts down. Even with wireless technology, like even more so. Oh, you want another? You want another example? There was a sharp fan with a light on it that I wanted for the house. It was at Menards. It was like a $110 fan. Wasn't, nothing fancy or grandiose. It's just a sharp looking fan. I'm like, okay, we'll put that in the master bedroom. That's a sharp looking fan. That'll go in there. And gets wired up. And I open up the box. Why do I have a remote for a fan, a ceiling fan? Because you need to remove the people. We just made it more complicated. So, just so you know, if you ever build a home or you're going to replace a ceiling fan or a fan in general, for the love of God, make sure it doesn't have a remote. Only you women wanted that. A remote! Oh my God, I can turn on the fan. It on, it off, it on, it off. Instead of getting the fuck up and just turn on the light, analog, physics, circuit connects. No, now we've gone in the realm of wireless technology, radio waves, or whatever the fuck it is. So this fan is installed. I'm sleeping. And at 4 a.m, it goes off for some reason. Is there a ghost in my house? What the fuck is going on? Later on, I find out, oh, this is set off by different radio waves or like a frequency. So like somebody's garage door open, and best I can figure it out is when a cop drives by and his radar is on. That's as much because I'm not near anything. So it's not like I got a neighbor who hits his freaking. I mean, I got a neighbor, but he's a mile away. I don't know. I mean, do radio waves travel? I guess they do. I didn't want to major in physics or software to learn how to use my fucking digital spoon, assholes. Here's my digital fan. The light goes on at 4 a.m. Is someone in the house? Do I got to shoot somebody? Why is the fan on? Here, I got crazy idea. In my mind, stupid bachelor male me, I had it in my mind that once I wired the fan, I could just turn it on and off and I'd be done with it, right? No, now I got to spend 15 minutes. Why is this model of fan going on? I got to use it. What model of fan is this? Why is it going on at night? Because you assholes can't just make a fucking fan that's analog and works. All this time wasted because you assholes have to put software in everything and it fucks it up. For you young people out there, find yourself everything analog, right? Go to the Reuse It Center. Go to Goodwill. Go get used tools. Make sure there's nothing digital. If it's got a screen, get rid of it. Get old cars. I'm not kidding. I think I'm going to be going and getting classic cars for the rest of my day. I mean, what's a classic? Okay, 20 years old. All right. Classic cars are, I mean, now you want an old 442, that's going to cost you. You want the Bullet Mach 1 Mustang, that's going to cost you. But there's other old school cars that aren't like the most sought after ones, and they're cheaper than a brand new car. And guess what? There's no boop boop beep beep. Heated seats. Standard transmission. People can't steal them. Just because they work. I take the key, and it doesn't go on. Well, it's either the battery or the alternator or some electrical problem. Pop the hood. Oh, wow, look at all this room. I can actually reach and access the bolts. But man, this software shit, whether it's my computer screen, my digital fan, it's taking more and more of we can't enjoy it. We're spending all of our time troubleshooting this shit. And I know you Americans are not going to stop. You American corporate, you're just going to keep adding all this functionality no one uses. It's just new thing. It goes boop, boop, beep, beep, colorful lights, girls wee and squee and, me what? Guy says, well, I want her puss, so I will buy the $8,000 digital radio X-ray, boop, boop, beep, beep, digital bottle opener. And then I will interfere with the internet. It'll interfere with your car's alarm system. And your alarm will go off at 3 a.m. That's going to set off the smoke detectors. And you're going to be running around in chaos, losing your sleep at 4 a.m. one night. Because a plane sent a communique above your house. But happy wife, happy life. I'm not kidding. I don't want to work a real job. That's what it boils down to. I don't want to go and start the Bachelor brand. That's going to be a real job. It'll require 80 to 100 hours a week as president and CEO. I don't want to deal with you bank fucks. Like, you know what I need? I need Elizabeth Holmes. I need to have a cute blonde come in like, tee, I'm a girl boss and I'm hot. You want to sleep with me? Give me billions of dollars and I make good company. I should just have a hot chick with big tits go be the front woman. Like, look, see all those horny, desperate, middle-aged and old white dudes with all the fucking money? Go get all their fucking money. Bring it back here. You're the CEO. Okay? Yeah, see, look, the internet. Here we go. The internet. And then I'm just going to be like, okay, we got to start with one industry. I think it might be video games, right? Pretty narrow focus. The platform already exists. Steam Deck looks like maybe this might be the platform that isn't a total bag of ass cancer. What else? I would love to get into cars. I would love, but you can't do it because of the overregulation and it's just the startup costs are insane. Maybe appliances, right? Just here. Analog. We could call it analog appliances. What do they do? It's analog appliances. What are they? You see that dial? Yeah, you turn it to one, slow, medium, or hot, and then you hit the button. That's it. That's it. Can I fix it myself? You sure may. Is there a warranty? Yeah, but we've engineered it so how much does it cost? $500, but it ain't going to bother you. This is never going to bother you. And if there is a problem, I want you to call me directly because I thought we engineered the hell out of this. So if there's a problem with this, I want to know right now. Maybe that's what I should do. The appliance industry. We just start off with some basic, simple appliances. Here's your washer dryer setup. This is all you need. You can make them even smaller, right? Because when the GF leaves, even when the GF is here, we got a lot of laundry. And we don't need these big, back when you women would have sex and raise families, when we had children, Yeah, you would need this big cylinder to put all the people's clothes in, but with 2 people, you don't need that much. Since I avoid winter, I don't have bulky clothing anymore. Nah, we get some cold day. I still got a sweater or 2. But no, I noticed that again, not a big environmentalist, but I don't like waste. You know, you throw your handful of clothes in, like, "Hey, sweetheart, get your clothes in here," and you're, like, looking like, "This is like a 3rd full." Like, this is "You got any blankets to wash? We just washed them last week." "Okay." I have very clean clothes, very clean fabrics in my house. Well, I might as well wash some towels. I mean, this is no, it really isn't. So we could make small like, I'd have the Bachelor and Bachelorette, right? I'd have the Bachelor I'd set up 2 companies. There'd be the Bachelor company and there'd be the Bachelorette company. The Bachelor company would have all this shit in the, very simple stuff. The washer dryers would be very small because you're only the Bachelorette would be equally small, but I just put a bunch of random lights on it, high quality, and the lights would just randomly light up. There'd be no rhyme or reason to them. There'd be no software in it though, because I don't want to deal with that shit. It just sparked like I don't know. It would have different pictures, different light, like one's of a flower, another's of a unicorn, another's of a drug dealing criminal, things they like, right? And then it would work just the same, maybe paint it pink. I'd give them some bullshit. I'd give them some bullshit. I say, we're lowering prices on the Bachelor. The Bachelorette ones would cost a little bit less than the Bachelor equivalent model. And he goes like, "He really cares about it. Oh, look, it's a criminal on my dryer. That's so hot." Just shiny lights. But then with the Bachelorette models, I'd say, well, but okay, that's the base model. But here's the queen model, right? That'd be 3 times the price. And I'd be like, "Oh, no, you can't. No, no. We made this for bachelorettes. You can't afford." The queen model is for gals who got their shit together. I mean, you're a young gal. I mean, most women who buy this are power girl bosses who are 35 and older. You should really go with the regular. This is good for you. You need the base model. We got a picture of a criminal on there. It's that's all you need. But I want the queen model. Look, you really don't need it, okay? But I want it. Put fucking rhinestones or some bullshit on it. All right, and then we got our financing department. Here you go. $8,000 for your queen dryer, lady. It says boopity boppity and shiny things, and it's got a hologram with a unicorn, and then it shows you Chad and Tyrone and lists their criminal record. You're like, oh my God. That sounds way too common. I think I'm just going to stick with the Bachelor brand now that I think about it. So, the original point of this was to do emails because I have a ton of emails. Let's go through super chats real quick. Stay on top of those. We got a couple here. Sup Zippy, $5 reminds me of mechanics at shops and dealerships always wanting old people's Crown Vics and Grand Marquis cars. Comfy, simple cars. They're easy to fix. Yep. Best car I ever had. There were 2 cars, but the best, I had a 85 Cutlass Supreme, the gutless Cutlass. And I had an 89 Chevy Caprice Classic. Those were the best fucking cars ever. Those are the kind of classic cars I'd be talking about because they're over 20 years old. And just find them and work on them. Yeah, Crown Vics. Absolutely. Absolutely. Alex Patino, our truck driving Latino agent in the field, $5. Cappy about to pop a vein from high blood pressure. You need a strong drink. Dude, I wish I spread out my drinking a little bit more. When you sober up, people's stupidity becomes high def and Dolby surround sound. And just I had it in my mind, right? If you go get my book Zero World Problems, the whole short version of that, too long didn't read, is your life has a finite amount of things that needs to get done. Chores, projects, etc. Why not do them all now, right? Do your homework on the bus ride home on Friday afternoon so you have your entire weekend to enjoy. And I applied that concept to life. Like, here's all these things you're going to have to do. Get them all done anyway. And the whole idea is that, okay, then you get to relax. Then there's no problems, right? And there's always maintenance and repairs, or in my case, lightning strikes when you got to fucking replace all your electronics. But like I said, I had in my mind, all right, I wired the fan. It's done now. And if it was 1982, it would be done. But no. Ooh, remote control fan. And it, it, when the software starts Venn diagramming and overstepping on the toes of other software, now I got all this shit. Think about it. How prevalent and ubiquitous, is that the word I'm looking for? Ubiquitous software is? Digital fucking fridges. Give me a fucking break. I drove my friend's car from Vegas to South Dakota. She crashes in Vegas and is afraid to drive cars in mountains. Fine, I'll drive. Dude, we almost got in an accident. Fucking Honda Accord. Fuck you, Honda. Cruise control button's there. Right below it is the auto drive. I hit auto drive and we're driving through some wet stuff in Utah. Also, the car's slipping all over the place. I'm like, why is the wheel not doing what I want? Oh, because we had it on auto drive. Auto drive. Give me a fucking resto mod any fucking day over a mod. I'm not getting a car 2020 or later. I'm just not. All that to say, in my mind, I know there's a state I can achieve. I could get to a point in life where there are only maintenance. But damn, the number of maintenance of projects increases the more software I get. Why am I dealing with unplugging and plugging it? Like, right? If it's analog, you plug it in. Does it obey the laws of physics? It does. It is guaranteed to work. Some asshole somewhere did a software update. They can't possibly think of what would have an effect on a 12-year-old screen, but it did. And now I got to deal with it. Don't even get me started about video games and updates and downloads, and don't even get me started with that. There's no consoles. There's just PCs without keyboards and mouses. That's it. That's all the consoles are. So if we're just going to have PCs, I'm going to get myself a Steam Deck. I don't want to spend my life troubleshooting software. I want to enjoy video games, enjoy a fan, do my fucking laundry, and chill out and go hiking and ride my motorcycle. I'm going to keep my I got a 2005 and a 2007. I am not getting anything new. I'm not getting something with the screen. I'm not getting something where a friend of mine, this is over 10 years ago, Harley, you plugged it into a computer. There was a port on and you plugged it into the computer, and then the computer would optimize your Harley. Fuck you. Fuck you, Harley. Make cheaper motorcycles so young men can afford them, and put some chicks without tattoos in a bikini that are hot with big tits standing next to them. Solve your problem. Sup Zippy, $5. I also have my Caveman Maytag. There you go. From 2007. I got it for free and fixed it with a $32 drain pump. I replaced it myself. It's similar to the ones from the 70s and 80s. Exactly. Dude, go to estate sales. Old Grandma Tilly dies. Absolutely. Go to the estate sales, pick up some old thing. And see, what's cool about the washer dryer that's typically in the basement, it doesn't have to look good. It just has to work. Ass bucket, $2. Let's send you an email to verify you want to. Dude, I never signed up for email updates. The number of updates I get from my payroll processor. We here at Paychecks want to let you know that Tiddly McWinkdink had a fart in the hallway the other day. Subscribe to read our blog. Like, what the fuck, man? The email alone is okay. Yeah, fine. There's spam and all that, but stuff I subscribe. Drew Bay, I love Drew. Drew, fucking take me off your mailing list, man. I don't know how many times I got to unsubscribe from your mailing list. I don't need to know that Drew Bay farted in Vince's face today. I don't need to know that. Micah Robinson, 10 generous dollars. Appliances are already done. Speed Queen does it right. Speed Queen. Okay, Speed Queen is the one? All right, because So far, I got the washer dryer I got now. Seems to be working okay. Sup a zippy, $5 again. I'm happy to have an old Crown Vic cop car and Maytag. Both I got about free and fixed them with fixed them for about that much. Love rock and potato engineering. You could call it rock and potato. It's just analog. Yes, they can over-engineer something analog. More moving parts, more shit could go wrong with it. I was watching. It was a GMC, a 2018 GMC. The guy had to. It was a nightmare. The mechanic showed he wanted to replace something very simple, but they had to. It was a cascade event. You had to remove this, in order to remove that. But in order to remove that, you had to remove this. Like I remember he said, in order to remove the alternator, I got to remove something to do with the air conditioning. But in order to do that, I got to drop the oil pan. But in order to do that, I got to reach this bolt. It means I got to drop the front lines, the front wheel suspension. Fuck you. Fuck you. So you can have over-engineered analog shit, which again, resto mods, classic cars, but it doesn't have air conditioning. Good. People gave me shit for having cars that didn't have air conditioning or, standard transmission or no automatic windows. Dude, that's just less shit that could go wrong. You throw software on top of it. Oh, fuck me. Nope. Ass bucket, $2. What machine or software hurt you, Cappy? All of them. The fan, the digital fan touched me in the bad touch. It was the digital fan. Ass bucket, $2. Start with TVs. Smart TVs are the absolute worst. Oh, yeah. You're right, Ass bucket. I could do appliances and TVs. Here's the TV. It plugs in. It doesn't need a software update. But what angers me the most, right? You all have this, right? I got a wire. It goes into the phone or the computer. Then it goes into the screen. Will it connect? Spin the wheel and find out. There's a 30% chance. I got, this phone, my phony phone. It's a nightmare. I remember the days you plug in your phone, you plug it into the computer. It recognizes the drive, you can access your phone. Grant options and permission. Fuck you. If I ever want to transfer files, I got to email it to myself. It's just easier. Sometimes it connects, sometimes it doesn't. Scroll down, grant permissions. Do you want to grant access to this thing? So I plugged it in, asshole. And those smart TVs, yeah, I plug it in. Can't recognize Xbox. Why not? That's not my problem. It's plugged in. It's the right port. HDMI 2. Why don't you recognize it? Software. Guarantee you it's software. Now watch. There's going to be some line sack of shit nerd. Come on. Actually, see here. We got to do this. Hang on. Okay. It went away quickly. Let's go back to the super chats. Yeah, those smart TVs. No, I should be able to plug my TV and just watch it. It should fucking work, man. Chris Surdak, $5. Feminists with masters in gender studies become software product managers for $150,000, but math is patriarchy. What could possibly go wrong? I'm sure that happens, but not, this is management, leadership, not understanding that perfect is the enemy of good. They've over-engineered shit. It's the tiger tank problem. Wouldn't it be great if we had all these amenities and features? No. It needs to be good enough. It needs to be affordable. Right? The majority of the reason you young people can't afford cars is because they're over-engineered. I'm going to say it right now. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. The reason young people can't afford car, I can't afford a new car, is because a bunch of generally privileged women wanted more worthless bells and whistles on and an overabundance of safety features, and that drives up the cost of all the cars. Mommy wants SUV with boopity boopity beep beep thing. I wanted to take my toe and put it underneath the rear bumper, just my little toe under the bumper, and then the back trunk opens up, my little toe there, because I'm too fat to bend down and put the groceries in. What do you think that does to the price of the car? Having to have one emotion detector, the electronics run, and then oh God, you ever try to close a Boomer's brand new SUV's back trunk? Like you think you slam it down, you go, no! What? You put your you don't even press the button. Put your finger in front of the motion, and then it closes gently. I want my 88 Cutlass Supreme, or 85 Cutlass Supreme. See, in my day, we took the key and then you lifted it up. And then when you want to put it down, you put it down. That's what we did. That I think it's trying to be everything to everyone, adding way too many features, and just not giving a shit about young people or poor people. You particularly see this in motorcycles, especially with Harley. I find it hilarious. It's like, we don't know how to get young men to do motorcycles again. I don't know. Have you thought about not being woke pussies and maybe having hot chicks and making up what they did? Their strategy was like, we're going to go woke. We're going to have diversity, brand name. Right here is just happened. This is StreamYard. StreamYard just decided to send me studio instability issues. The latest versions of some browsers, for example, Chrome 138, Edge 138, Firefox 140, you have 140 versions? Seem to have introduced a conflict that is causing this is exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you, God. Causing studio instabilities when using virtual backgrounds or touch up my appearance features. Who wants? Oh my God, there is God, and he just sent this as an example. Touch up my appearance features. StreamYard got bought out by private equity. They jacked up the prices. I just need a streaming platform, assholes. I just need a fucking streaming platform. I don't need to touch up my appearance. There's nothing that's going to save it. As a temporary workaround, we suggest turning off these features while we work on a fix. Our engineers are actively to ensure support for the conflicting browser versions. Why do you even offer those services? Like touch-up appearances. Right? Let me show you something. Let me show you what happened there. What happened, ladies and gentlemen? There's 215 listening right now. Maybe a couple thousand tune into this. Some fucking Karen who sat on a marketing panel. I like your boobity boobity boppity boppity. And then every non-peen touched virgin IT nerd bobs in the gene. Well, we better put that in there. And no one's using it, but now it conflicted. And it cost us 2 minutes of our lives. Right? Oh, come on. Can't be 2 minutes of it. You're right. But multiplied 100 times a day with the digital fan and then the air conditioning I need a subscription service for, or the video, right? How much time have you guys spent at a console? Here, I'll give you another example. There should be a ratio or a percent time played video games. So from the time you turn your console on or you sit down, what percent of the time are you actually playing video games? I guarantee you, when you factor in downloads and updates, it's less than 70%. You're fucking troubleshooting a goddamn computer 30% of the time, so you could play 70% of the time. And then you take away the games anyway. All right. Well, if I don't own the game, then piracy isn't stealing. But yes, the over-engineering of everything, that's why. That's why. Feminist studies major or not. I would say the main problem wouldn't be your standard, typical, stereotypical girl boss. It's your NBA dude. Look at Andrew Wilson at EA. Do you think that guy plays video games? I doubt he does. He doesn't care. He's, I mean, if there was ever a dude bro who dude bros, he's the dude bro. He doesn't play video games. Generation Apollo, $5. We now have wireless control systems for trailer brakes that use a mobile app because direct wiring is so last century. What could possibly go wrong? Really? Trailers? Yeah, man. I'm going to be dude, there's one car. I'm not even going to say what it is. Here's a car that is so good and so analog. I'm going to say what it is. I want to buy like 3 of them so I never have to deal with that shit ever again. AF, $2. Look up angry USB. Any USB device can take over. Okay, good to know. Sup to Zippy, $5. The worst analog thing I had to fix was an 82 Volkswagen diesel pickup. Had a 20-step engine retime process. My 2-stroke carburetor 76 Hadaka is a rocket potato. Chris Surdak, $2. They're going after the lights. Yep. Going after the lights. They're going after the lights. All right. Let's come here for the original thing. Let's go through our emails so I can clean this up. This is from Jimmy. Jimmy writes, check out the movie Brat, 1997, Brother in English. It is the best Russian movie of all time. I will send $20 at a super chat. Just because you read this message, no shout out or video required. Thanks for what you do. No, that's all right, man. If you guys got good movies, if you got anything that's good, let us know because we don't have time to be dealing with the modern day shit. It just wastes our time. Let me delete that. Oh, it feels so good to delete emails. Oh, yeah, that's the stuff. Most people shoot up heroin or white girl blood. I shoot up deleting emails. Aaron, your last 2 videos, the decline of corporate culture. Now, this is from March. That's how far back we're going. On the decline of corporate culture and the basic math of what companies are offering versus what people need to survive have been spot on. I think you're pulling a thread with an even bigger implications than you might realize, or maybe you do. It's only the entire labor force. Look, there shouldn't be a minimum wage. If you are a lowly skilled person, like you're fast food restaurant worker, no, you shouldn't be paid $30 an hour. You shouldn't. Because by that time, it's going to shut down. But I don't know why we're even debating having a living wage. Because either companies pay you a living wage that you can live on or not. And again, I'll say I'm very proud of Gen Z telling corpos to fuck off. You want me to work downtown and pay for commuting and pay for downtown rent and and you're going to pay me not a living wage? No. Gen Zers just don't have a work ethic. Well, maybe if you paid them more, well, pay more. India, Philippines, ha, 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 ha. Okay, well, you can go pay the Indians in the Philippines or Filipinos. I mean, go ahead. I mean, if you could go ahead, do it. We'll do something else. I do have a solution, but I only have so much time in my life. When major transformations or crises are on the horizon, sometimes even when they're already upon us, people often go into coping mode, convincing themselves that the shift isn't happening yet. It is. I mean, I love how people just think inflation was this random thing that just happened out of nowhere. I'm like, did we not just print off trillions of dollars for Obama's shit, Trump's stimmy checks, and then Biden's, let's just print off more money than the Inflation Reduction Act? It's happening, but people don't acknowledge it. But your last 2 videos suggest we're much closer to a tipping point than many people think. I run a consulting business, and to keep my services affordable, much of my labor force is based in the Philippines. While the skill level there isn't identical to the U.S. market, Filipino workers are highly trainable, and for certain roles, they perform exceptionally well. I mean, okay, cool. I mean, that's, the Swiss are good at making chocolates. Russians are good at making vodka. Filipinos have a particular niche. I'm for. That's what international trade is based off of. In fact, many of my employees have been with me for 4 years, ever since I started hiring in the Philippines. The main appeal of offshore labor isn't just cost cutting, it's sustainability. I can pay my workers a fair wage in their local currency, giving them financial stability without feeling like I'm exploiting them. Meanwhile, I don't see a future where U.S. corporations are willing or able to increase wages enough to make domestic labor viable. Here's another thing. I know this is very short, too long, didn't read economics. When you are paying for a third of your adult potential weight, a third of your adult population to not work, and that's very ballparky, right? You have retired people, you got to pay for them, right? But they should have saved up their own money. Yeah, right. Okay. Anyway, so you got 1/3 of the population, retired people. You have another third of the population, kids. Those two groups of people don't work. So it's up to the middle third, quote, 18 to 64-year-olds to pay for shit, right? But when a third of them don't work because liberal white women just want to take your own money so they can feel good to give it to essentially pay for parasites, to pay for these people not to work, that's the main short version, brass tacks. That's the main reason everything's so expensive, because you got to pay for them and they don't produce anything in exchange for that money. But at least you liberal white women felt good about yourselves. That's the very, very, very short version. You can't have a third of your potential labor force be parasitic and then wonder why there's not enough shit and print off more money and why things are so expensive. In short, what if that third of the parasitic adult population went and built houses, right? With that salt, you see, there's a production. This is why they talked about supply side economics. By no means to bore you, because according to everyone else, Reagan is wrong. The rational move would be to offshore at an even greater scale. Oh, wait. The rational move would be to offshore an even greater scale. American companies aren't altruistic, but they are pragmatic. If they can't pay a living wage, okay. You seem to have a slightly moral take on this. American companies, in many instances, could pay a living wage, like Microsoft, and not paying HB1 visa people, and hiring American engineers. The Fiat, Stellantis, they fired all their Western engineers and went with second world engineers. They could afford to pay a living wage. They just can make more money in the short. See, you have a long-term sustainability concern, which is a discussion about the viability aspect of it. I guarantee you the vast majority of American employers are not like you. They're like, well, we could pay a living wage, but that'd be less profit for us. We'd still be profitable, but that'd be less profit for us. So we're going to go, oh, look, we can outsource it to India. We can outsource it to Kazakhstan. We can outsource it. Oh, my God. You actually acknowledge the lower quality, but you probably employ a couple more. But you say it's still worth it for you in the end. You've done the analysis and the math. The vast majority of employers have not. And it's going to bite them in the ass. I would also say, not in all instances, but holy shit, you think maybe you could, if you're in America and you're an American, could you at least have some loyalty to the country and maybe employ some Americans? Like if the cost difference and the quality difference is 80%, like, look, the Russians are just really good at making vodka. We can't compete in terms of quality or price. I get it. But what did they do? They did the analysis on IT workers, and you save about 10 grand on a $150,000 salary getting an H-1B visa guy. Fuck out of here. I mean, the paperwork alone may not be worth it. American companies aren't altruistic, but they're pragmatic. I'd say they're not that pragmatic. They're more short-sighted. If they can't pay a living wage and people can't afford to take the jobs they're offering, they'll simply shift labor offshore where workers are actually earning enough to live in those local economies. Right. If they can't afford to pay, people aren't taking the jobs, fine, go overseas. It used to be common for small business owners in the U.S. to have a secretary who stayed with them for 20 years. That doesn't happen anymore because employers can't pay what they used to when adjusted for inflation. True, and let's just admit, American labor has also become unreliable. I appreciate Gen Z saying that's not a living wage, we're not taking it. I also understand the opposite side where it's like, dude, you guys don't show up on time and you have all these made up mental diseases that surprisingly all result in you not working as reliably. Where's the disease where you're a workaholic? That's what I want to know. Used to be common. That doesn't happen anymore because employers can't pay what they used to when adjusted for inflation. But by hiring offshore and paying in U.S. dollars, I could provide a stable, livable income for my employees in their home countries. Whereas in the U.S., that same role would have constant turnover. No, I agree. I agree. In fact, I've had zero turnover in the past 4 years. Good. Look, I'm not. Hey, if you can help out the Filipinos and the Indians or whoever, like you find the best labor wherever it is, cool. It's not feasible here, fine. But for everyone who like, we want jobs to come back in the United States, well, you better increase your work ethic and you better get rid of paying for a third of the parasite adult, not just all a third of the adult working population. And irrelevant to our discussion here, you got to make it easier for corporations to hire people. You got to get rid of this college. Not you. I know, not you. Corporations in general, you got to get rid of these ridiculous education requirements. And we also got to train these kids to have a skill by the time they're 18. Not 22, not 24, not 26. 8 fucking teen, ideally 16. I think you're absolutely right about where this is heading. Where it ultimately heads is impossible to predict. Oh, I got a theory. I got on my to-do list right here. I got an idea where I will predict the capitalist socialist utopia economy we've achieved. We might chug along for 15 years and slowly inflate our way out of debts, or we might have a quick wipeout. Who knows? It'll be a slow but consistent inflating away. It will be. I know where it's going to go, and it's going to be more mental impairment, mental pain than economic pain, but we got that. All right, so that one, did I, 2 corpos, 1 labor market, end of corporate culture. Did I get this all right? Oh, wait, it popped up again. This popped up again. StreamYard popped up again. Thank you. Thank you for notifying me a billion fucking times like you're my wife. It's all nagging in the end. It's all nagging in the end. StreamYard, are you gonna notify me a third time now? Same fucking shit? Hi, Aaron. I've been a long-time viewer of your channel and an occasional client. In your recent video on the end of corporate culture, you asked if any viewers who had worked their way up in a large corporate environment could contact you. Although I haven't worked, I got the hiccups. Although I haven't worked at the big 4 accounting firms or white shoe law firm, I have worked my way up through the big 4 banks. I didn't know we had 4 big banks to reach director level. I thought I'd write to you and explain my experience and my background. I will also share what I think is wrong about corporate America and answer your ultimate question, is it worth it? All I ask is you keep my name anonymous. This email could go on for pages and pages, but I'm going to do my best to abbreviate it. So I apologize for some descriptions. How long is this? You know what? This is a separate one. I'm going to do a separate video on that. That's a standalone topic. So I'll save that. There's Doc. This is from Rick. Rick writes in, looks like my local Harley dealer is very interested in appealing to men again. So this is woodlandsharley.com. This is obviously a dealership in Woodlands, Texas. And I remember clicking on this, and look at that. There's some thin, hot, and some white chicks. Oh, my God. Of course, we all have tattoos. Of course. There's an Asian gal here. I know. It's like tattoos are like an STD. Once you have one, you can't really get rid of it. There's some pretty gals here, and they all got tattoos. So, Harley's Angels promo team. Outgoing and love talking to people. Choose events based around your schedule. Have fun while earning extra cash. All right, so they're highly good-looking chicks. Ooh, here's a sister. Okay, of course, she has a tattoo here. We can't have that. Here's a cute little white girl. She got her glasses, a little nerdy. Cute brunette. There's her buddy. Oh, of course you have to have a tattoo on your leg. I would love it to know if the Woodlands, Texas Harley dealership is having the same problem I did when I wanted to hire models to model my books, because obviously most of my audience is male and men like attractive women. And I just couldn't get quality attractive women to do the job right or on time. You never hear back from them. Modeling is hard. I mean, the job is hard. It's hard to find models because if you're a really good looking gal, you just go on OnlyFans and there you go. You don't have to go to the strip club. You don't have to bartend. You just go on, put on a cute outfit. Hey guys. Or in their mind. And so, yeah, good luck. And having sat in on Fresh and Fit and hang out with Mike and Rollo on their show, and some of the gals are more professional than others, but oh my God. Those girls couldn't run a lemonade stand, let alone show up and do the job right. I'm a model. No, you're not. Models show up on time and they do the job right. Um, yeah, that'll. I wish Woodlands, Texas Harley dealership and the Harley Angels, I wish them the best in their endeavor. Uh, I hope those girls make a lot of money and they make you a lot of money in turn. Substack. Hi, Aaron. In case you're interested in a few numbers, I'm in the process of building a 30 by 40 house and selling my current 5,000 square foot monstrosity. That's huge. Wow, 5,000. I already own the land, so if I had to buy land, this would be 20 to 40,000. Well, septic system and earthworks, 20,000 Canadian. Slab with plumbing and in-floor heating, 20,000 Canadian. Lumber, windows, doors, shingles, trims, and clad boards, 20,000. So it's 60,000 for all the stuff. Hired a Red Seal carpenter to work with me, as they know all the codes and how to navigate the system. Say 2 weeks labor around 5,000, so 65,000. Electrical 5,000, drywall paint 4,000. Total cost will be 100 to 115,000 Canadian dollars. Average resale of this size house in this area is in current market 275. If I had time, I could build most of this alone, but I have a business to run as well. But well worth hiring someone who knows what they are doing, as it will save me a lot of time. Anyhow, this is a real life example, which you may find interesting. Yes, the future is you're going to have to build your own house. And I'm going to point it out again. Largely Democrat, not my backyard, environmental code and regulations, all voted in by Karens. That is going to be your biggest hurdle to find. I want to put this type of house here. Oh, not that house. Why? I own the land. Yeah, but Karen really owns the county. And Karen doesn't want any of the poors around her. Yeah, but I thought Karen was a Democrat. Oh, that's right. Karen just says that so Karen can get elected. Why? But I thought she said but I'm lower middle income. I just want to start my own. Yeah, you can't do that. You don't own your property. Karen does. So I'm glad you could find a place to put that house. Guys, don't go to college. Just become a carpenter or learn how to build or put in the labor, however you can, to build your own home. Please do it. All right. This is from Reen. Hey, Cappy, just a response here. So I think if we attribute the amount of people that attention whore, I think that overpowers any embarrassment today. True. I don't think people are not capable of shame. As long as they get attention, they don't care how embarrassing they are. I remember when I was naive about 4 or 5 years ago, I did a video, women should stop crying on the internet because all these girls crying on TikTok. I'm like, what are you girls doing? This is bad. I didn't realize it was all an act. It was all show. It was all kayfabe. It was all professional wrestling. They just wanted attention. They didn't want the money. They just wanted the attention. And it's not, if a tree falls in the woods, but no one's around to hear it, doesn't make a noise. If a girl has no shame, is there any embarrassment? Lastly, quite a few, and I apologize. Let's not be bigoted here. Men do shameful things for attention whoring. Look at Destiny, right? Someone else fucked my wife. I'm so edgy. Look at my blue hair. Although, guy made way more money than I did. I guess they're not wrong sometimes. I guess. Lastly, quite a few go on there asking Caleb to solve their problems. Oh, so this is Caleb Hammer, right? Where I press D for doubt. Caleb Hammer, the moneyest, Dear Penthouse Forum. It's not that I disagree with Caleb. I just like, is that real? I have the right to say, really, is that real? And Reen is writing in defending Caleb, saying, yeah, I think they are real because people want attention. Reen's not wrong. He's not wrong. It just seems awfully suspicious. Like, do you remember when they had the two Army veterans or military veterans, and they're obviously functional? I'm like, oh, yeah, we're totally on disability. And we like get $2,500 a piece. For what? You guys look like you're fine. And they're in financial trouble, right? One, I doubt they're both military. Two, they just came up with that, right? Just to be provocative. Is Caleb Hammer professional wrestling or not? And I could see it going both ways. So Rain's explaining, yeah, I think if we attribute the amount of people that attention whore, I think that overpowers any embarrassment today. If you're right. You're right. Lastly, quite a few go on there to ask Caleb how to solve their problems, which again allows them to outsource the responsibility to someone else. That's why I lean towards more real than fake. Okay, good. Good. I hope Caleb's making a shit ton of money. I hope he is. It could be a little bit of both. There could be people like come up with fake BS just to get on the show. I mean, how does Caleb verify? Oh yeah, I actually get 2,500 a month in disability because I got myself a splinter. Uh, hey, this is from Femboy Fantasia. Clarification you asked for. Very well. Try to keep this brief as this will explore the type of thinking and subjects you hate. No, I'm not in academia. However, while working on my worthless degree, I did get a perverse pleasure in reading women's studies papers while being between research projects. Also, I never actually quit studying. Autodidactism. Yep, we're all autodidactics. It's just whether you realize it or not. So something about philosophy is that philosophers rarely come up with original ideas. I think this is in response to me saying I never viewed philosophy majors or philosophers as particularly deep or intelligent. It was just like, I declare myself to be so intelligent. Like Noam Chomsky, right? I'm so intelligent. And all the lefties, yes, we agree you're so intelligent. Let's tell all the students to listen to you because you're so intelligent. My deep philosophical theory is that we just need more of other people's money. Whoa, he's so deep, man. They mostly synthesize whatever is currently on their minds of the community they live in and categorize it. However, philosophy can also influence people. This is how people that have never heard of Marx will nearly quote him when ignorantly bitching about the economy. So the idea that men subconsciously do things to harm women is not a new concept. The idea that men subconsciously, is this institutional sexism? Right? We just do it without knowing it. So the idea that men subconsciously do things to harm women is not a new concept. Feminist writers have been talking about this for some time. Mixing that in with therapy jargon is a millennial and Zoomer innovation. Okay, so I'm a lazy sack of shit leftist who don't want to work for a living sitting in academia. I'm also an egomaniac, so I got to act like I'm some kind of deep intellectual person, so I default to philosophy. I find previously existed ideas that abdicate me of responsibility and rationalize taking other people's money in previous writing or within my own circles. I give it an academic term. Now, more modernly, it turns into a therapy issue, like, and you see millennial Zoomer innovation. So, a lot of these things existed before, though. The one fibromyalgia, right? Oh my God, I can't work. And then the immediate default is, oh my God, you just hate people who have that actual. No, I don't hate the people who actually have that disease. I hate the 93% of people claiming to have it who are faking it. Right? Is that where we're going here now? I have the autism. I have a touch of the autism. No, you don't. You just didn't have a dad. You just didn't have an older brother to beat the shit out of you. Everything that you read in that review, while exceptionally salacious in its prose, is exactly what I've been seeing in online discourse and even from my own freaking mother. I heard nothing new here. I often eat out alone and eavesdrops on other people's conversations. Oh, you better believe there is weaponized incompetence being discussed amongst the girlies. This book is a feedback loop into women's resentment. Enjoy yourself. Okay, so what was the book? I should have read this earlier when I had the context. So they are consciously becoming victims, right? And they're just terming it, making it sound really official. Then they sort the source or cite the experts. Experts say. Okay, good to know. Thank you, femboy. This is from one of our female agents in the field, happily married woman, one of our regulars, very sweet lady. When we were first married, I used to ask my husband, why don't you talk about your feelings? And he'd say, because I don't have any, but in such a way that was funny and obviously kidding, but sent the message that he wasn't going to let me try to dig them out. Over time, I figured him out. So well, I completely lost the desire for him to talk about what was going on inside because there was no need, I already knew. I think for women, talking about our feelings is wait, did I? Oh, let me read. I'm sorry. This was an email exchange. Let's start here. Hi, Aaron. I just have to react to this. This is title Emotional Labor. Young women do not understand the emotional lives of men. I didn't. It took me decades to finally figure it out. Women think men aren't emotional enough, like they don't do emotional labor. They're confusing mood with emotion. Women display moodiness. That's not the same thing as emotion. I love you, dear. I don't give a shit. I gotta say so. We don't care. We don't. I really let's reflect on this. Does this sound like a female thing to say? Well, we don't do emotion. We do moods. Dude, we got to worry about the saber-toothed tiger over here. All right. Women display moodiness. That's not the same thing as emotion. Mood is a surface expression. It can be related to the underlying emotion, but it's not the same thing. Okay. Because men to have more level moods, people assume they have shallower emotions. True. I now believe men's emotions might actually be deeper than women's. I would agree. I guess there's no way to test that. Wait, I can become trans, then I'll actually be a man, right? Ha ha ha. I said, hi, Agatha. Men experience emotions just the same as women, perhaps more so in that there's general more of a sacrifice to get the investment things, goals they want. So when it goes away, they hurt more or they're hurt more. But yes, they don't show it because it really doesn't serve a purpose. Also, it's just wasted time to get visibly emotional about things or to talk about it because in the end, you get to deal with it and solve it yourself. Somehow, women think that their emotions are important and solvable by other people. It's just frankly very exhausting. Our female agent in the field writes back, here we are. When we were first married, I used to ask my husband, why don't you talk about your feelings? Blah, blah, blah. I already knew. I think for women, talking about our feelings is functional. No, it's a waste of time. Like I'm so experienced and old now. They deal with it. Deal with it. And I've found that most people's problems, male or females, most people's bad emotions come from them fucking up. Usually being lazy, not putting the effort in to get the results they want. I'm not accusing you of that. I don't have time for people's feelings anymore because I've seen how lazy people are. I'm like, oh, I don't have an well, you fucking did it to yourself. I don't care. I think for women, talking about our feelings is functional. It helps us process them. Yeah, but the mistake we make is expecting a man to serve as that sounding board. Right. We're not pay me or go get a therapist. Especially in today's world of inflation and dwindling people who produce and products that don't work, it is becoming harder and harder just to survive. Men don't have time for women's shit. Very simple. A lot of people. Why are men asking women out? And then there's a lot of explanation. Well, women are overweight. Women have presented themselves on the internet to be very unapproachable. Historically, women have always shot men down, which now corroborates their overly negative PR image on the internet. Women told men not to ask them out, but a huge reason. Sorry, men are just too busy trying to get food, clothing, and shelter going on, and disproportionately through their Karen proxies in HR and corporate America. You girls want men to go $100,000 into debt for some worthless degree just to qualify for an entry level job. Men don't have time, and they have less and less time for women's bullshit, whether that's emotions or standing them up or mind games or double speak. No, if it's between getting laid and eating food, men, no matter how much men like women or like what's between their legs, men need to eat. And I think the real world is becoming so demanding of men's time. They don't have time to play these like dating, for example. I look back at how much time I wasted dating. If I were a 18-year-old young man today, I wouldn't have the time for it. I couldn't afford it. I wouldn't have the time for it. Right now, even though I'm much wealthier than I was when I was 18, if I were to go back to dating, oh no, no, no. But you can afford it. No, I really can't. It wasn't fun. It was painful. I've said it a million times. But I even told my girl, like, "Oh, well, what would you do if I went away? You'd be getting prostitutes. There wouldn't be no other woman." I'm not going with it. What was the phrase? The humiliation ritual. I'm not going through the courtship dance. I'm not doing that. I'm not flopping my wings and doing the jazz hands and puffing my I'm not. Here's the money. Come on over. All right, now go away. It it's a very simple it's very simple. Are you an enjoyable experience? Are you a positive experience? Was hanging out with no different than anyone else. Was hanging out with that person fun and pleasant? It was. You're probably going to want to hang out with them again, right? We have people occasionally, we hang out. We don't invite them back to because why? Because they got drunk or acted the fool. We don't enjoy their company, male or female. Same thing with women. Are you pleasant? Are you just bitching and why? Am I a fellow human being that you are going to flirt and engage with and spar with intellectually and be an engaging conversationalist? Are you just going to be a pain in my ass? Are you going to complain about shit that is not my problem to solve? Are you going to tell me about like ladies? If you're not, this hottest one of the hottest things my girlfriend ever did. She called me up after she fixed the car. There was a flat tire. Like just recapping that. Hey, what's going on, babe? Oh, nothing, about to go to bed. Figure a check in. Oh, no. What'd you do? Oh, I had to fix the car. Oh, was there something wrong with the car? Yeah, I got a flat, but I fixed it. 99% of other women, at least in America, would call, oh my God, the tire's flat. Guy be over 3 states over. Yeah, okay, so? Can you call AAA? No, bitch, you call AAA. Fucking working over here. Paying off your student loan debt. Fuck off. So mean. I also think it's commonly known on the internet, we can't solve your problems later. I mean, again, I'm not trying to identify you, madam. I'm just saying in general, we can't solve your mental problems. There's been no progress. Listening to you doesn't get us laid. There's the problem. You just want to get laid. Yeah, that's basically it. Yes. And that's fine because now we're in an impasse, so we know not to bother. And we won't bother you at all. From birth, males are more interested in things and females are more interested in people. This aligns perfectly with you saying it's exhausting for men to listen women talk about their feelings, but for us women, we find it very interesting because it's about you. Look, if I could talk about my feeling, I mean, I get tired of it. Yeah, it'd be nice. I mean, this is why, well, men don't mind talking about their feelings. This is why they go to the therapist. But you know who else they confide in? I happen to know this because I know a few people in the industry. Ladies of the evening. A lot of ladies, sex workers, you could tell me this and you verify it. Okay, fine. The sex is one thing, but isn't it the majority of the time they just want to talk about because you're the only one to listen to them? And I think you don't like that, or maybe it's part of the job. They just want to talk to have someone listen to them. Men want to, but girls don't. Drives them away. I mean, men have feelings they like to talk. Yeah, I have thoughts and ideas and opinions. A lot of this is on the internet, so it's kind of my therapy, I guess. But some of the more deeper, darker thoughts, maybe even just deeper thoughts, like, oh yeah, I'm human. Oh, wouldn't this be nice? No, what? No one's gonna. And on top of it, I'm like, why would I burden someone? Man, I got to solve this problem myself, or the problem isn't solvable. Not even a problem. It's just, oh, this thing exists. Isn't that a weird thing about life? Oh, well, I guess it is what it is. I don't go up. I don't call up my friend. Think about this, guys. This is in women's mind. I get a flat, and then I call my buddy. Hey, Nick, I got a flat. The fuck are you calling me for? Well, I got a flat. Well, go fucking call AAA. You would never do that to a guy. Yet another reason men and women need their own exclusive spaces. Yeah, no, I agree, but I think unfortunately, I write that is a labor listening to women and uncompensated. Men aren't having it anymore. Men are becoming much, I wouldn't say mercenary, but having a little bit more self-respect. Is this helping me? How's this helping me? No, it's helping you, but it ain't helping me. It's not helping us. I don't have time for this. Goodbye. It's the classic line for planes, trains, and automobiles. Here's an idea. Next time you're telling a story, have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener. This is a tech recession response. Cappy, if you read, please keep details to a minimum. I long for the days of Clippy, our favorite paperclip. Tech agent in the field here. PSA to everyone who would like to do work in tech. Stop with the schooling. Stop with the certifications. It's meaningless if you do not know how to troubleshoot. How does one learn this, you ask, and others might ask? At 16, I was given 50 clients from a local ISP. The first job I asked, what's going on out there? I was told that is for you to find out and fix. To get a good at tech, jump in with both feet. Schooling will set you back and give you a bias that will affect troubleshooting. I believe it's the same thing with working on cars. I'm sure if I went to some kind of auto school, they'd make me take prereqs in psychology and women's studies and economics and bullshit. I'm just cracking open the car and fixing it. Here's Google. How do I replay? Okay, there we go. Tech will make your face gray by 30. You will get points for being a 6.1 IT Chad who is not fat. That will get you in far in IT. Oh, good to know if you're in shape. So I shouldn't show up with the 2-liter Mountain Dew. Also be the guy who only needs to be called once and don't be a geek. Spend the last 4 years working in a program training people. My boomer bosses believed they were smarter than me. I knew my days were numbered, so my last job, I engineered a network loop. When I was sent home, my guys told me my replacement could not get things working, and that is what happens when you can't troubleshoot. In the end, you will get burnt out. Sell everything, buy some land, live debt-free and off the grid. I still like computers and have to use them. They are tools. Which makes me sick is the way people use tech, and the lack of understanding is a tool. Okay, thank you for the email. This is from Fat Guy. Just a quick note to you. Saw the stream a bit ago, and yes, protecting and letting criminals run wild is a communist thing. It adds to the fear that makes it easier for the government to control people. They would punish anyone who defends themselves and say something along the lines of, the criminal doesn't know any better, but you do, so we will punish you for not simply letting them take it, whatever it was, even your life. Yeah, this is living in crime in the Soviets. That's why they do their best to ensure that the minority communities of the minorities are kept in poverty without fathers in the home so they can have civil strife and crime running rampant. Not wrong, creating the problem that only government can solve. But curious, you Democrats never solve those problems like poverty and crime. It's amazing. It's here I will say it. Yes, blacks and minorities, you guys are slaves to the Democrat Party. They've kept you enslaved for what, 4 generations now, ever since the Great Society took over? You not realize Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, it's a racket? I mean, how many generations black people lived in poverty? I mean, not all, of course, but what are we on? 4 generations now, right? You think we're going to do a 5th? It's also why they enact gun control to disarm law-abiding people and doing stuff about criminals or getting guns via illegal means. They want everything to be shit so the people stuck living under it will demand the government do something. Exactly. Exactly. That's something is always giving more power and control to the government and taking away liberty, rights, and freedoms, as well as personal self-determination for everyone. It's exactly from the communist religion, and blue states are run a lot like the Soviet Union was, but they're still limited by federal laws and the Constitution. Thing is, communists want to appear to be legal, but give zero fucks if it actually is or not. You're right. Socialism, Marxism, feminism, postmodernism, progressivism are all the same religion and cult. The pillars of it are everyone is either oppressed or an oppressor. Well, that's basic communism. That's Communist 101. And the females, along with the weak and competent males, tend to be the ones who decide who is the oppressor. Communism and socialism are about class warfare. The rich are the oppressors. Feminism is men are the oppressors. Right, this is where tradeism comes from. You are trait X. Gender. You were either born with it or you just have it. Like you say, well, how do white males get an oppressive trait? Well, I got the autisms. Oh, I'm totally the gays. It's like, no, you're not. I saw you making out with that girl. No, I'm totally the gays. Money, please. I'm oppressed by group not X. I'm left-handed. I'm oppressed by the right-handed. And I, as always, am oppressed by the blue-eyed people. Me and my revolutionary brown-eyed brothers and sisters, we must unite to overthrow the shackles of the blue-eyed people. Who the oppressor is. Feminism is men are the oppressors, so women are always oppressed. Victims. Karl Marx was a useless waste of oxygen who demanded everyone else give him what he wanted, took zero responsibility for anything, and had thought patterns very much like a spoiled 8-year-old girl. Yeah, he lived off of Engels' dad, wasn't it? The other two, postmodernism and progressivism, are attempts to rebranding communism to avoid the well-earned stigma of communism. If humans, I don't care, I'm on my way out. If humans can't get over the addiction or what the simple hoodwinking, the con that is free shit, if you guys can't figure that out, the human race doesn't continue to go on. If you can't figure out that there's no such thing as free shit, even in a communist, no, there's no free shit, right? I mean, there's a little bit of free shit, but I've said that all along. It just keeps you alive to suffer more. That's what any communist empire was. Okay, everything's free, but there's barely enough of it to go around, and it's just going to keep you alive and more. A lot of you, especially in China, 50 million going to die of starvation. And especially those of you on welfare in the United States, some form of welfare, whether it's Section 8, whatever else, the most propagandized, I guess the stereotypical group would be the poor black community. Dude, has it been fun for the past 4 generations? I mean, doesn't it? Do you want to be kept alive a 5th generation of misery and poverty and government finance squalor? Or do you want to, I'm not saying you got to join the Republican Party, but do you want to ditch the Democrats and like, hey, maybe we ought to like Malcolm X up here a bit and kick some ass and take some names and have our own companies and all that? Oh, wow, look, we're out of poverty. Well, the Democrats were lying to us this entire time. Shock. That's the most sadistic part of that, the left. Oh, we'll get you free shit. But only insofar as to keep you alive long enough so that you suffer the next day. And mentally you're miserable because you're envious and jealous because you believe the brown-eyed people, I'm sorry, the blue-eyed people got more than the brown-eyed people. The right-handed people are oppressing the left-handed people. It's like growing up Lutheran. You're just a miserable lot. It's Lutheran humor. You can't have Lutherans can't have Lutheran humor because they're Lutherans. You're not allowed to laugh. But if you're not Lutheran, it's really fucking funny. Oh, thank you, fat guy. Short little thank you message. Hi, Aaron. Just wanted to pop in and give you my thanks. I discovered you shortly after graduating high school. I was so fucking lost and confused back then. Right, because your teachers lied to you, your parents, I don't know, you got your old man or not. Your parents probably lied to you. Everyone lies. If the boomers said don't trust anyone over 30, which meant the World War II generation, right? Probably the most honorable generation in the United States. Probably the most productive and most reliable. Now is the time to have that meaningful. Do not trust anyone over 30. They're just lying to you. I was so fucking lost and confused back then. I wanted to become a lawyer, but after an internship at the courthouse in my town and watching your videos, I decided not to become one of those tyrants. Yeah, not to mention poor people. The vast majority of lawyers are poor. Thankfully, you pushed me into the path of accounting and becoming a CPA. There we go. One more person out of poverty, right? Right? I'm 20 years old. Oh, you're going down the path of a CPA. Okay, you're tall and will graduate college debt-free in 2.5 years with 150 credits for the CPA. I just graduated. You got to start putting from. You don't graduate my community college. It's not your community college. You don't send it to school to graduate to a better community college. I graduated from my community college for the associates in accounting, about to transfer to a small STEM-based school that has given me a full ride due to my grades at community college. So much, dude. That is awesome, man. Good to hear it. I will earn my 150 credits by double majoring accounting and finance. Oh, I know you need the 150 credits. Okay, yeah, finance, I guess. If you need to sacrifice some courses, sacrifice the finance courses. No one's going to hire you because of finance. Although I know the career finance path is bullshit and full of cocksuckers. Look at this guy. I really do find the subject interesting and helpful for my accounting career. And also the master's just feels redundant. Yeah, it is. I mean, once you get your CPA, no one's going to care about the master's. Anyway, thank you for putting me on this path. You deserve the best in this life. You're honestly the older brother I never had. Hopefully one day I can meet you and Rich Cooper and give you guys my gratitude in person. Enjoy your summer. We'll keep you in honors. Well, thank you very much. That goes into the memento box. Let's go into, move to a different folder. There we go. Thank you. God, I'm losing my voice after a while. This is from our female agent in the field again. You asked the question whether testosterone is associated with libido in women. Yes, capital yes. The standard hormone replacement for postmenopausal women is pharmaceutical estrogen and no testosterone. Well, then how, if it's estrogen, then why no testosterone? But the implanted bioidentical pellets, they implant an estrogen and also a testosterone to bring our testosterone to levels back to what was normal when we were young, about 1/10 what men have. The estrogen reverses the old lady vagina tryout, but it's the testosterone that makes us actually want us to have sex. I think you not the husband. Just want to point that out. It's not the husband. It's so sad. Now, I love this woman. She has sent me very many kind and insightful emails. But guys, it is so sad. This is not like this magic girl that just loves you. Every once in a while that happens, but it's so rare. Women have to take hormone replacement therapy to be attracted to you again. Generally speaking, to want to have sex. And then I got to ask the question, well, is that like drugs? Is that like the Bill Cosby thing? Like, yeah, you should get hormone replacement therapy. Oh my God. You just want to. In my day, you used to get the girl, for lack of a better word, drunk. Not sloppy drunk, but just enough to take the edge off. And the girls would loosen up and then they go and maybe not have sex all the time, but they'd relax. They kind of enjoy themselves and have a fun time. To be perfectly honest, that was almost more than half of it. Well, okay, she loosened up. She had a couple drinks. You would have a couple drinks because you were nervous on the date yourself. Oh my God, then people had sex. Whoa. She smelled some alcohol and therefore was affected, and you are a raisinist. I think it is true that both men and women have too low testosterone these days. Facts. Whether from the bad American diet and obesity or some program, Moustopia collective drive to extinction. I don't know, probably both. Yeah, no, and fluoride and not getting enough sun, not getting enough exercise. And look, if people are ugly, look, you send me in a room with a bunch of hot chicks that want to have sex, my testosterone's going to go up. You put me in your average American Walmart, my testosterone's going to go down. For me personally, even more important than sexual libido, I believe the testosterone just makes me like men more or dislike them less. Levels my mood, makes me more tolerant of them. Oh, then maybe women, there you go, have testosterone. At least you're doing it. Now, by the way, this gal loves her husband. She's a sweet, wonderful lady, good wife and all that. And look, to the extent she's like, yeah, I go on testosterone so I can have a happy. She's putting in the effort because she loves her man. You're spot on with the program differences. Men instinctively try to spread their seed as much as possible. Women are picky gatekeepers because every sex act could result in 9 months confinement plus 3 years 3 years breastfeeding. Have you guys gotten the word that there's birth control? I know it's hardwired, but I mean, you realize you can have the sex without consequences now, right? Did that memo get out? That's the tragedy. Birth control is made. And we're like, yay, we can have fun now. And girl's like, yeah, but my hardwiring is still the way it was, so I don't like the sex. Really? We're this close. We could both have fun, but you got this hang on, which is evolutionary years, but really? Evolution has not caught. That's why we need drugs and alcohol. Shoot him quick. Evolution has not caught up to the pill and baby formula. You are correct. Neither sex chooses to be this way. You're right about that too. But the little bit of testosterone we women are supposed to have historically made us able to tolerate and maybe even appreciate the man support and maybe even like the sex too. I mean, I think somewhere, now tell me if I'm wrong, because you are the female persuasion. Depending on the statistics you want to believe about, and where, was it Homo sapiens? Was it Neanderthals? What was the actual official human being? Human beings have been on the planet for 200,000 years, okay, roughly. And they estimate between 50 billion and 150 billion human beings have existed in those 200,000 years, right? Do you think there was one or two women in this, what would it be, 25 billion to 770, of the 25 to 75 billion women that existed on the planet, do you think there was maybe one or two that actually like sex, or not even that much? Not even that much. You think there was one? Was there one woman that liked sex? I kid. I kid. I know some women that really enjoyed sex. They were definitely in the minority. They were definitely in the minority. But it's funny, haha. Um, historically made us able to tolerate, maybe even appreciate the man supporting us, even if we were forced to be with a lower status man. That is true. I do understand that most women did not want to be with the men they got. Most women obviously don't find most men attractive. So unfortunately, back in the day, you had to be with a guy you weren't satisfied. I get that. I totally get it. That's why there's divorce. That's my theory anyway. Good video, and I'll keep you honest. Thank you very much. This comes from, I'll just be anonymous. What have you done for them is the title. Hey, Aaron, there's one quote you said from one of your videos that cycles through my mind on a daily basis because of how hauntingly true it is. In regards to young men succeeding, you said, what have you done for them? Did you vote Democrat? You ruined women for them. You've done everything except tell them to end oneself. What almost never gets talked about on the news is no working class young guy starting out can beat the welfare state to get women. No, I think this is old data and obviously depends on the state. A while ago, we're talking 10 years, maybe even more ago, it, women could get $40,000 a year husband out of the government, right? With food, clothing, shelter, all the other shit, not to mention all the nonprofit charities. If you're making 30 grand a year as a young man 10 years ago, so what? That's 40 grand. You're not getting the girl. And that's the vast majority of young men, right? We all start somewhere. We're all starting $15, $20 an hour now, right? Okay, so that's 40,000 a year tops. Probably not getting health care. You're not, if girls looking at purely from a financial standpoint, the government will always offer a better bet. Actually, hang on. Let me look at this. Income distribution of men US. That's household income. I want to know men's. It's by race. Percentage of. That's households. Maybe if I just try male income distribution. I know the data is out there. I'm just trying to find what percentage of men can even beat the government. Okay, is this it? Hang on. What? Okay, this is 2009. So I'm going to use the $30,000 a year figure. What is this? This is men, women, income distribution by gender. Is this the US? This is awfully low. Is that monthly income distribution by gender? Disadvantage. I don't think this is US. That's awfully low. Individual income percentiles by age. No. Pay by gender. Okay. Percent of workers. What year is this? Male, female, personal income. That's Japan. Honest to God, I remember the days. Monthly earnings, 3,000. That's euro. Yeah. Male income distribution, US. Let's try that. That's households. Percentage households, median American salary by age and sex. Inflation adjusted, retroactive. Okay. The vast majority of young men cannot beat, by young, let's just say 25 and younger, right? You're just starting out. You can't beat the government. You just can't. I think the median income in the United States is 56. So if you're younger, you're definitely making less than that on average. Yeah, the majority you can't beat the government. There's absolutely zero status for us in local communities anymore. It used to be if a 23-year-old guy just stopped drinking like a fish, caused trouble, and got a job at the local factory, he's all of a sudden an eligible bachelor, and every old Christian woman in town thinks you're the greatest. Yeah, no, it happened. It's because women needed guys back in the day. Look at this responsible, reliable guy who goes to church and works at the factory. He only makes that. And according to the internet, I need my and Taylor Swift sang the song, "He's a piece of shit unless he makes $1 billion." That's her favorite song. Yeah, like when women needed men to survive, yeah, they started looking at, oh, he's a hardworking man. Uh, that sort of prestige no longer exists. Now the game is unless you make 70K or have a trust fund out of the gates, you're a loser and deserve to die. I live in Wisconsin. There's absolutely zero respect for the working class men these days. Your biggest fan will keep you anonymous. Uh, I don't think there's zero respect, but among young women who are looking for a man, it's not an issue of respect. They're completely unaware of the math. They're completely brainwashed by media and their parents and teachers and all that. And they're also paid. Look, the government takes care of them, right? There's government boyfriend, government husband, whatever you want to call it. They provide more reliably than a 23-year-old can. That's not the 23-year-old's fault. He's just young. He's got to pay the taxes, to pay the welfare, so that they got their insurance policy. Well, if I can't find a guy, there's at least $40,000 government check husband will take care of me. This is from Ricardo. He sent me an email, and this is interesting. Cappy, last week I went to a networking event to promote my business. It went better than I expected. I went with the mission of shut the fuck up and ask people questions about themselves and their business. There you go. In the end, I actually had a great time and connected with two people who called me back and asked me to quote for my services. For me, it was a good opportunity to get off the internet, touch grass, and talk to some people in real life. You once mentioned networking events are a waste of time. I disagree, but I'd still like to know your point of view. Thanks for everything you do. Here's the thing is, in the day, I'm talking like job events, they would promote, oh, you got to go. You got to network. You got to network. You got to get out there and network. And so you go there, and unless you're an extrovert, it's very impolite. Hey, I'm never worked. Never worked. And then you go to like these networking events where whatever, an industry or something like that. At the end of the day, they already had who they were going to hire picked out. They already had their cousin or their buddy who was going to be their contractor supplier. So in general, these networking events, especially going to like a jobs fair, not so much. However, two things. Well, here we go. All right. One, you have a business and you're well, there's three things. One, you're an entrepreneur. So you kind of almost have to go out. You're not like necessarily searching for a job. You're looking for contacts and connections. Two, everything is online now that it might be worth going to some kind of in-person event, right? It's all digital, it's all LinkedIn, it's all that. There may be an opportunity for you to go out to a physical networking event because so few people do it. In other words, it'd be kind of like dating. Stop going on online dating apps, go to a speed dating event. Chances are still going to be a higher hurdle. But three, what you really did, you did the Dale Carnegie thing. You went in there, you shut the fuck up, and you asked people about themselves. And it almost sounds like you went there just for fun and to get out of the house. 100% agree. It. I still don't like the job fair. I really don't. I really don't. Oh, I got to go to it. Like if it's a dedicated networking event, oof, I really don't like it. But better than applying for jobs on Indeed.com or Monster.com. I mean, yeah, I guess. And if you go in there asking people about themselves, not saying much about you, yeah. And you had business card and everything. Look at that old school business card. Here's a third thing I gotta tell you. You got a real clever idea. I think that's probably half the reason they contacted you. You got a really clever idea. That's a clever business you got going on there. And I hope you make a shit ton of money. But that has use. That's a very good service you got. I'll let you know. Reen writes in, hey, Cappy, just a heads up. Super chats haven't been working for your past couple videos. The one you're currently doing about the New York Times and men come back. I just wanted to add, particularly for younger men, I think more or less what you're seeing there is a bit of the enjoyment of watching your enemy suffer. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, people love, dude, the way women have treated men, I know it's shallow. I know it's petty. But these men deserve the red meat. The way women have treated men for half a century, men have every right to see these women girl boss like fall flat on their faces. And it's gonna go for a while. It's gonna happen for at least a decade. You girls are gonna be wandering in the you ruined your men. There's not any good men. It's gonna take a decade at least of being pro male, encouraging men to be masculine again before you girls get anything you're gonna want to remotely fuck. In the meantime, congratulations. Here's your David Hoggs, your Larry Sissons. Here's all the femboys. Here's all your soy boys. Here's all your Democrats. Secondly, a hypothesis I would pose is today's perception is greater than reality. It doesn't matter if it's the New York Times or TikTok seems fake. The perception is women hate men. I agree. I'm trying to accommodate women. We're like, they're not that bad. TikTok is overly fake. New York Times, Wall Street Journal, they're getting in on the shock, OMG, Yana Hawking, exaggerated bullshit. They're trying to get in on it. And so it paints women in a much worse way than what they are in reality. But it doesn't matter what they are in reality. This is the image people are painting of women now. The perception is women hate men, and we have tons of corroborating evidence, whether it's fake or real. Absolutely. I mean, you got academia, you got the media, you got television, you have your teachers, right? And it's men are bad, men are oppressors, da 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 da. There's lawsuits. You had Brett Kavanaugh, the Me Too movement, right? Which we're not endorsing men be like that. But Why don't you say something righteous and hopeful for a change? Where have been the we like men? Just show me where that is. And I don't care if it's the silent majority of women like, no, we actually do like men. We don't. Well, you were way too silent. And that's the PR campaign, whether fake or real, worked. And now men are of the opinion women don't like us that much. And I hate to say it, it's very, very important. In good times, women shot men down 80% of the time. Right? That's just natural biology. Women are not attracted to the majority of men. 1 in 5 times I can end up on a date. Right? That was just normal. Women didn't treat us necessarily bad. Well, they did. Okay, but it wasn't as bad as it is now. Certainly not as bad as it shows on the internet. When you take the 4 and 5 rejection rate, young men, Zoomers and millennials, ask these girls out and they get shot down 80% of the time, they're going to conclude what they see on the internet is real. When it's like, no, women are just more picky and that's all right. That's actually required for humans to continue. Unless they have a deep observation, just listen to me or read my book of numbers, they're going to think, wow, women do hate us. They really don't want anything to do with us. You know whose problem that is? It's women's problem. They get to solve that PR problem. And at any point, ladies, we could start seeing bikini-clad models standing next to Harleys and pro-male messages. Me, if you girls could, this would be crazy. We increase it from 20% of you going on dates with men to 40%. And maybe you show up on the dates too in a dress and be nice. Wow. All right. And most men are going to take it as a validation of the situation and their choices. And in many cases, to a certain degree, their opinions of women in the current day. So if nothing else, it's a validation mechanic for us on the other end. TikTok videos, New York Times articles we say are fake. However, regardless of whether it's true or fake, it still validates the decisions many men are making right now. You are 100% correct, Reen. You're 100% correct. Look, I'm going to say, remove the professional wrestling of TikTok girls. Remove that down approach. Remove it all. Guys, when you ask girls out in the real world, what percentage of them say yes? And then what percentage of them show up? And then those that do show up, what percentage of them were fun to go out with at the end of the day? We are probably talking now single digits. There's your real world. You don't have to worry about what's on the internet and on the television. You don't have to worry about it. What are women's behaviors? When's the last time you were asked out by a girl? When's the last time you heard of a guy that divorced his wife? It happens. It's rare, though. Baseline, brass tacks. Say it again. And it's Thinking Ape that came out. Women just don't like men that much. And what the theater you see on the internet and the media, no joke, is just not 100% accurate representation. It's like 120%. They turned it up to 20% to be more sensational and to get clicks. It's not that bad, but it's not far off. But it's almost irrelevant. Sure, you want to know if women like you or not? Go ask them out on a date. Or sit there, dress up, be very handsome, whatever, go ballroom dancing, something. Go to a place where see how many girls ask you to dance. It happened to me, but it was rare. And just go. They'll let you know. They'll let you know. And there's your real answer. How many girls went on a date with you? 15%. There you go. 85% of women aren't interested. This, of course, assumes you're not some fat, unfuckable pig. Hey, asshole, try to keep this short. 5 years ago, I was 22, living in my parents' basement. I was depressed, self-ending, idle, working a dead-end part-time retail job for $14 an hour and making shitty music on SoundCloud. During COVID, I found your channel, unlike a lot of the coddling and overly feminized advice I was getting at the time. Your crass, no bullshit emphasis on following opportunity over following your dreams was a huge wake-up call for me. Here we go. Here's the turnaround. Unlike all you leftists and teachers, and I want to make a difference, people. Look at this. I'm about to make a difference in this guy's life. How does it feel? I immediately started studying for an IT cert, landed my first entry-level job 7 months later, and fast forward to today, just accepted a job offer for $145,000 as a sysadmin position. My biggest takeaway from your videos was to not follow your dreams, but to follow opportunity. Now you know why most of my audience is male. I'm going to keep picking on you girls until you start making empirical decisions and actually improve your life because I want you to do better. But I'm going to laugh my fucking ass off when you girls keep on going with what your fifis and emotions want. Now in a position to start a family and looking forward to the future. Thank you for changing my life. I may not be here today. Had I not found your channel. I hope you continue speaking to young men, giving me a kick in the ass. I got nothing else to do, man. As long as they keep lying to you kids, which I think my generation is going to continue to do, I will have a job. I'm going to send you and Ricardo the thing. Thank you very much. Thank you. Gordian knot on women. Aaron, Philippines and Thai women are notorious for standing men up. It's in their DNA. This is from the overseas. I can't even count how many times I've been stood up in Bangkok. My buddy in Manila had to provide a cab for women to take to his compound. Compound? Wait, is that where they got a compound? I'm picturing gun turrets. If they refuse, he would just tell them to text a photo to the Starbucks at the compound's entrance when they arrived. Many never showed. He has been stood up 30 to 40 times in 5 years, slept with 70 women. Their culture is even worse than the U.S., not even close. I've never been stood up in Vietnam. Rarely dated in Japan, dated more Japanese in L.A. than Fukuoka, and probably haven't been stood up in the U.S. in the 30 years. Get stood up at least once every time I started dating in Bangkok. Most of the Bangkok women are extremely attractive, live overseas, have unlimited options of local men to choose from. I am just their farang fling. Farang. For example, I have 2 dates, one tonight, one tomorrow night at places I would go regardless of who shows up based on experience. Maybe one will show up, but be 30 to 60 minutes late. This is culture in Bangkok. It's their culture you send their family money. Well, that's why their culture sucks. Oh, they're just 30 to 60. Mañana, siesta. That's just their culture. Well, that's why they're a second world shithole. You're not on time. I mean, I want us to all be German or Swiss. We're all looking at our watches, but that country's gonna do better when everyone's on time. The one that's tardy. First date was most likely a scammer setup date. Then tried to get WA. I don't know what WA. When I responded that I only exchange after meeting in person, ghosted. Attached is a second date. Late. Who knows if she'll show? Oh, so you're waiting for her date. I'll just go to the gym in the same building if she doesn't show. This is normal in Bangkok for normal Thai women. Scanners and ladies of the evening are always on time. So this is 27 minutes, but you okay? I'm sorry. I'm in the car now, but can you wait? Okay, so she's texting him. Easier to take BTS. I'll be here or at a location. But I use a car. Now BTS and cars are no different. Okay, I'll wait here, but can you wait? God, Jesus. Oh my God. No. All right. Thank you for the foreign report. Philippines real estate. Aaron, good advice for the young dudes as Filipinos run these scams like crazy in the U.S. The Filipino will most likely start acting tampo, which is grumpy until the dude starts giving her money to build a house. Otherwise, they will lose the land or some other BS. Yeah, when I did that video, a lot of people were like, oh, yeah, she's going to lose the land. There's going to be taxes or some other stuff. I leave all women in the U.S. or Asia the instant they bring up some business opportunity as 100% are scams. Operation Evil would be to string her along, meet with the architects, real estate agents, bankers, etc., who are also in on the scam, to string her along for a few months, have a lot of sex, and then when she demands you write a check, you say you found someone else, move on, cut ties, move to another apartment. These people can be dangerous and are never working alone. The same scam happens in the U.S., especially California, which has very pro-women laws regarding cohabitation. Man and woman buy a house together. The woman claims she's afraid he will do things. The guy's banned from the house, but luckily he has to pay the mortgage. Scams in Thailand are worse than I've ever observed before. Part of it might be I'm older and I have seen seen as a more lucrative target for the failing economy is forcing more people into the scam business, or all the scam centers in the Golden Triangle are bleeding into real life scams. Life in Asia is still fun, but not for the naive right now. I would not recommend coming to Asia right now. Too many risks that were not present only a few months ago. Okay, good to have that info. Closing in. Closing in. Okay, are we done? Look at that. Look at that. We are perfect. The email is cleaned out. Let's get to the last of the super chats. Then we're going to get out of here. Generation Powell, $5. Remember when new printers came with a USB cable full of cartridges and set up software on physical media? Pepperidge Farms, remember? Oh, yeah. Don't give me, I'll never buy an HP thing again. I'm only getting Brother printers from here on out. There's a cable. You plug it in. I print. I don't have to log in or username Hewlett Packard. I plug it in. It fucking works. Chris Surdak, $5. Most of my employees are in Africa and South America. They work twice as hard and complain 1/10 as much. Okay, well, there's a pro for the foreign workers. AF, $2. Me hiring an autistic machinist. Do you like trains? What? Dre, $2. Cappy is opposed by his manletism. Blame gravity. Yes, gravity is oppressing me. You people, because Dre is 6. Aren't you? You're really tall, Dre, right? You're 6'4" or something. And of course, he has the magical 6 foot long penis. We can't forget that. Well, you're a taller fella, right? Gravity oppresses me. You got gravity privilege, Dre. Dre again, $2. They say Cappy has been 25% opposed for 3,000 years. Thanks, Dre. Ken says, hi, happy 4th of July, Cappy. Thank you, Ken. Thank you very much. Dre, $2. Cappy graduated life coach school and Carlson. Yes. Candor. I'm sorry, I'm getting this is where your body switches from carbs to fat. And there's like this shift. You get really weak. Give me a second. Thank you, asshole, for the mentoring. I have just graduated and was hired as an X-ray tech. I will start making close to 6 figs. Thank you so much. I'm happy to help out, man. Glad to help out. And look, hey, all I did was tell you the truth. You guys followed through on it. Hang on. I'm adjusting my nuts. Hang on. I'm going to adjust my balls. Sitting in this chair, and then you slide, and then the underwear comes up your butt crap, and then cinches down on your nuts. Your nuts get all caught underneath. I had no problem. Just by the way, you guys want an inside. When I be on dates with a girl, like after the 3rd or 4th date, I would just adjust my nuts in front. Like I didn't stand in front of her with my nutsack in front. I would just adjust my nuts. I say, I'm adjusting my nuts in front of you because I'm comfortable around you, right? I don't care. I got to adjust my nuts. You're comfortable. I'm comfortable around you. Never had negative consequence. Just say, sorry, I'm adjusting my nuts in front of you because they need adjusting and I feel comfortable around you. And then they giggle. Usually by the 3rd, 4th date, they like you. Mike, $5. Loved the channel. Got red pill in the early 2000s. Learned the PUA arts and was being paid to teach people. Think as the dating apps break down in. Is there another one? Oh, infield game will be really useful again. I don't know if they ever weren't. Right? Whether it was dating ads from the 70s, like in the newspaper, or VHS ads in the 80s. The real world never, I mean, it did change, but not as much as whatever the media world made it seem. Certainly the dating apps. I think women in the real world have gotten more picky, but the fundamental rules never change. Smell good, be dressed all right, be in physical shape, ask out a lot of girls, be charming and funny. And I will always say, yeah, you can. Troy Francis is the master. He's the one who's just, well, no, he worked at it. It's because he's naturally charming. No, he worked at it. He could talk to a girl for 5-10 minutes, have her giggling, and not use the same line. He's just naturally that way. I think the simplest way is the airstrike. Again, you're at Sonic Burgers. Okay. First thing, you're leaving Sonic. You're not going to go to Sonic Burger. You're just going to go somewhere else, right? You're on your way out. You're always on your way out. You go up to, you have your number written down. Write your number down. Say, hey, are you single? I think you're cute. Here's my number. I'm on my way out. Let's go get like a drink or coffee sometime. Drop your payload, get the fuck out. That's one of the easiest things you can do. It's one of the easiest things you could do. Only thing easier is if you do dancing, like where you're there commonly and you're meeting them regularly, and just in a month time, you'll find some girls that you like, you dance with them several times, you get used to, like, hey, you want to go get a coffee or get a drink after we go? Though that did lend well. You'd be at a dance, there'd already be booze being served. You're already dancing. And I had a house like 2 miles down from the area. And like, you need to sober up? Yeah. Want to come back to my place? Cappy had game when he was young. All right, that's it. Link below, I have a link to my Amazon affiliate link. It's the direct link because people were complaining about olderbrother.com/donate. Like, some of the browsers won't let you go there. Like, oh, fuck. So I'll have a workaround for it. But in the meantime, if you do all your Amazon shopping through my Amazon affiliate link, it does not cost you anything extra. I get a 5% commission and cut. Now with YouTube, I guess, tinkering with the algorithm, people's ad revenue is going down. I'm just, here we get to diversify yet another income stream. So down the road, if you could do all your shopping through the Amazon affiliate page, that would be great. What, on the computer? What are we, cavemen? What is this, the 1910s? With penicillin not been discovered yet? Yes, it's the 1910s. Use a computer, not your app on your phone. All right, we'll see you guys later. Toodles.